Next up, we've got Alex from Unique Network. It's talking about building the future of real estate NFTs. Thank you. You're being too nice.
Tuk-tuk? Yeah, this works. 5 minutes break, everybody. No? No? You don't want to do it? Okay. As someone here mentioned, I'm Alex. I'm here. They did change the name. Our head of metaverse growth and person very knowledgeable about real estate and NFTs couldn't make it, so I'm stepping in for her. I guess all of you are here in a kind of pretty large numbers. While I'm trying to figure out how this thing works. Nah. Oh, thank you. Okay. Because real estate is, what, $300 trillion asset class, right? So I think everybody in this room has sensed that with NFTs becoming more mainstream, we're going to start getting into these big industries and disrupting them from within or from outside. Any lawyers in the room? Oh, okay. See one. I have good news for you.
For this panel,
actually, blockchain or NFT disruption of real estate will be mostly led by lawyers. Because the thing is, the biggest obstacle, we are all part of the crypto world where we feel and see the potential of the metaverse to supplant the real world and to get things kind of in the, doing them in the new way. But in real estate world, there is so much regulation, so much things that you cannot do that that we can try as much as we want. We can pour as much money as we want into new cool solutions. Tech people are not going to be able to solve it for the real estate. Okay, they will be able to work on it in metaverse where there are no regulations yet. So happy to jump into there. So the biggest problem we have for adoption of blockchain in general into real estate is the regulation, and we feel, well, this is something that's coming out of research done by FIBRI, the UK real estate organization that looks into a lot of new things, and is to leverage basically new business models. So let's try to put metaverse aside. Metaverse is no man's land. It's kind of build it and build whatever you want. So creativity there is your only obstacle. But in the real world, being kind of, well, you have to work with new business models for to get through those walls of regulation and stuff. Okay. Why is this not working? Sorry. Okay. So the main thing about when you think about real estate is actually a bundle of rights that are attached to the title that you're getting when you're buying a real estate, right? Okay. There is a bundle. Okay, so if you can't, if you want to try today to replace the existing business processes in real estate, you can't do it, okay? It's too complicated, it's too big, there's too much entrenched interest. Come back in 15, 20, 30 years, okay? There's too many obstacles for that. But if you take portions of the business process, or in this case, portions of the bundle of the rights. So right to buy, right to possession, or right to sell, or right to rent or enjoy or live there, you can play with it. We had a very interesting experiment happening in the last month or so in New York. I guess somebody kind of was selling the rights. Didn't do well because they didn't think about ETH as a kind of volatile cryptocurrency, but still, it's an interesting experiment to look at because they have taken one of these bundles and have basically used the crypto to attract investment, but then everything else is done the same way as you do it in the real world. Well, it's done as in the real world. So it's basically the ideas around real estate today are mostly should be about kind of very creative business models that can come up, and that's why the lawyers who, well, if you're a real estate lawyer, who know the regulations can come in very handy, and actually the combination of tech and legal work is needed to come up with ideas like that. Okay, one thing I wanted to offer to your kind of thinking today is as NFTs are no longer just JPEGs. Everybody, out of 15,000 people here, I'm pretty sure that a lot of people are thinking about, okay, so what's next? What more can we do? My thinking on it is that we have that what we have so far is just baby being born. We need to teach it how to crawl, walk, talk, do all kinds of things, and the revolution in tech is just ahead of us. It's just born. What we are seeing and what we are building as well, what we have built, is capabilities of NFTs to be a little bit more than static images. And the two key features I'd kind of like to think you to think about, and relevant. They're very relevant to real estate, whether real or metaverse, is refungibility and nesting. So if you start getting into these new blockchains that are much more powerful than Ethereum, you can start working on much more powerful solutions like refungibility or nesting, because let's face it, if you buy a building like this, for example, or not like this, apartment building, you want to sell apartments in it. You don't want to sell the whole building, right? So you need a technology that allows you to divide those things into some pieces, and that's what refungibility does. I assume that in many of the chains we work on Polkadot, you can have actually much more powerful technology to enable that. In Ethereum, you can't go too far with that. So if you're thinking of building, don't go there. But I think that any chain that has scalability at its core can handle refungibility very well, and that can be very well placed for real estate, whether it's shared ownership or any other use cases like we're hearing here today. And then nesting is another interesting one that we ourselves have natively enabled, where you can mint an NFT that can then own other stuff. It can own, so we are distributing free chest that owns a fraction of a CryptoPunk, and owns a fraction of our Substrapunk, that owns stable coins and stuff like that. With that nesting, you can actually, in real estate, you can have a land where you own a building or own the land, and you can then put up as a separate NFT the billboard that somebody that previously mentioned, and rent that billboard to Coca-Cola for advertisement and automatically receive money. So this kind of technical capabilities very much needed, and this is something I guess that people today at least should be thinking about. Who knows what we're going to come up next, but this is what's happening today. I'm seeing a lot of dynamic NFT work being done, and that can be applied here as well. To underline a very simple presentation, again, I tried to make it really, really simple and skip all the complicated stuff. If you want to work on anything in real estate today in blockchain, you have to focus on two things, and that is the utility of things you're doing. So what real use does it do? And you have to be very, very creative in terms of coming up with new things, because real estate is not built for blockchain yet. We all need to do it. So without further ado, these are our credentials. So anybody have any questions? I have 23 seconds. or just come up back the stage. All right, thank you very much.